Archaeologists have made an astounding discovery. The findings could potentially reveal secrets about the enigmatic queen and her rule. What artifacts were uncovered in the tomb? How will the discovery change our perception of Cleopatra's life and reign? But before we start, let's first see who Cleopatra was, how Cleopatra looks, and how did she die. We may be able to learn more about the general appearance of Cleopatra in the future. Cleopatra was Egypt's co-regent for nearly 30 years, sharing the throne first with her father, then with her two younger brothers, and finally with her. And she belonged to the Macedonian ruling dynasty founded by Ptolemy, a general who served Alexander the Great during the conquest of Egypt in 332 BC. Cleopatra ruled one ancient civilization, Egypt, and was the heir to the unparalleled cultural accomplishments of another. Greece. Marcus Antonius of Rome stood at the pinnacle of authority and fought the most powerful man in history, a partner. Prayer war combined with failure and suicides. Everyone is aware of Cleopatra's beauty because of the way she is portrayed in movies, cartoons, and books. According to popular culture, most of us learned about the queen via precisely these kind of works, although it is a fascinating myth. That is completely untrue. It is dubious that Cleopatra had some extraordinary beautiful men willing to risk their lives only to spend one night with her. A 2,000-year-old coin that was discovered in 2007 was analyzed by academics a few years ago. The image of Cleopatra is depicted on the coin and in a number of other archaeological finds. These discoveries revealed that she was a short, plump woman with a large, long, and wide nose, big eyes, and narrow lips. Despite all of this, Cleopatra was able to charm everyone, but the secret was her sharp mind. Cleopatra's life. When it comes to Cleopatra's life, last fall Israeli archaeologists performed excavations in the National Park of Jerusalem. During the excavation, they came across an intriguing artifact, a 2,000-year-old amethyst seal engraved with the image of a biblical tree, the fruit of which was used to make balms and perfumes for the famous queen. Cleopatra, the artifact, may have belonged to Cleopatra herself. Beautiful if scientists can identify the precise species of persimmon, or at least cultured artificially, they might be able to develop a rejuvenation cure that will affect the future of humanity and the planet. This item has the power to alter history. Cleopatra's intelligence. She was noted as being extremely intelligent and skilled, speaking convincingly and with confidence, and being well versed in astronomy, philosophy, mathematics, and linguistics. Because Cleopatra could speak 7 to 10 foreign languages, her court-like translators, the innovative Cleopatra had a significant impact on the cosmetics of her era, and even modern women continued to apply her personal care techniques because of her proficiency in chemistry. Cleopatra was able to learn a great deal about many chemicals. For instance, she was aware of the antibacterial characteristics of honey, so she applied it to her face frequently. She also applied rosewater to keep her skin soft and clean. Cleopatra was well versed in the art of perfumery and believed in the efficacy of scents both as a cosmetic and a tool for political influence. If you can locate the scent you're searching for, it might make sense to just open your own factory. According to legend, Cleopatra perfumed the sails of her ship before her first date with Mark Antony. In order for him to smell her before seeing her, even Cleopatra recorded her formula for perfume in a book that was sadly misplaced. It's probable that the Alexandria Library fire destroyed it. According to Cleopatra, she was a new Isis, and she told her subjects as such, so they wouldn't be left out. Cleopatra was known to assume the persona of whatever deity she felt was most appropriate at the time. For example, when she sailed on her perfume ship towards Mark Antony, she was dressed as the goddess Venus. Young boys dressed as Cupids and maids dressed up as seen him were waiting for her. Cleopatra was a big spender. She blew through enormous sums of money incredibly quickly. Last tomb of Queen Cleopatra underneath the temple of the ancient ruined city of Taposiris Magna on the Egyptian coast. Archaeologists have unearthed a wide and stunning tunnel that is being referred to as a geometric miracle by the experts. Kathleen Martinez, an archaeologist at the University of Santo Domingo, has been looking for the last tomb of Cleopatra for close to 20 years now. She believes she has made a significant discovery while conducting ongoing excavations and explorations of the temple. Martinez and her colleagues discovered the structure that was buried within the temple. According to the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquity, the 2-meter-tall tunnel was discovered 13 meters below the ground. It had been hewn through an incredible 1305 meters of sandstone and was a result of nearly 2 decades of searching. The design of the tunnel is remarkably similar to that of the 1306-meter tunnel. If Paulinos is a 6th century BC aqueduct on the Greek island of Samos that is commonly referred to as a marvel of engineering, the conduit was unprecedented in design and construction. In its day, despite the fact that parts of the Taposiris Magna Tunnel are submerged in water, its purpose is still unknown at this time. Alternatively, the Taposiris Magna Tunnel isn't without equal, but its engineering is nonetheless just as impressive. Since 2004, Martinez has been serving in a professional capacity at Taposiris Magna in search of the lost tomb of Cleopatra. She believes that the tunnel could be a promising lead. Previous excavations have yielded clues that seem to point to the famous queen and the last of the Ptolemy's Tempo series. Magnum was founded around 280 BCE by Ptolemy Sekou, the son of Alexander the Great's renowned general, and one of Cleopatra's forebears. Cleopatra herself ruled from 51 B. The most intriguing discovery is the network of tunnels that go to the Mediterranean Sea and sunken structures. Therefore, investigating these submerged structures will be the next step in the quest for the Egyptian queen's lost two-way journey, which started in 2005. It would be an almost unprecedented archaeological discovery if the Mausoleum of Cleopatra were to be found one day, along with most of the Hellenistic city of Alexandria. This discovery would enable a wealth of scientific research, regardless of whether the tombs are found. The thorough excavation of these ruins could tell us more about the mysterious ancient city. The tunnel has already yielded some treasures, including pieces of pottery and a rectangular object. The name Mark Antony, even if we do not find the tombs of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. This site, both inside and outside the temple, will be considered the most significant find of the 21st century. We made significant findings, both inside and outside the temple. Egyptian sources later described as a ruler who elevated the ranks of scholars and enjoyed their company. There's also evidence that Cleopatra wasn't as physically striking as once believed. Coins with her portrait show her with matronly features. Roman propaganda painted Cleopatra as a debauched temptress, but she may have been more famous for her intellect, rather her appearance. She spoke as many as a dozen languages and was educated in mathematics, philosophy, oratory, and astronomy. Martinez, who has been given the task of locating the Queen's lost tomb, has great admiration for Cleopatra, who was the target of Roman propaganda that aimed to sully her reputation and misrepresent who she was. Martinez admired Cleopatra as a student, linguist, mother, and philosopher in large part due to the fact that she was an educated woman and was possibly the first one to study formally at the museum in Alexandria, which was the hub of culture during her time period. Cleopatra was considered the human incarnation of the god Isis during her time, and Antony was considered the human incarnation of the god Cyrus, who was Isis's husband. Researchers believe that Cleopatra's two tombs might have been located in the Temple of Osiris in the ruined city of Taposiris Magna on Egypt's northern coast, where the Nile River meets the Mediterranean. It is believed that Cleopatra may have decided to bury her husband in the temple in order to represent this tale. Out of all the 20 temples around Alexandria that have been researched, no place, structure, or temple combines so many conditions as the Temple of Taposiris Magna. Although many archaeologists are optimistic about finding the tomb of Cleopatra in the ruins of Taposiris Magna, there is little evidence to support this theory. Many academics believe that Cleopatra would have been buried within Alexandria, possibly in a region that is now underwater. About a dozen researchers who are experts on Cleopatra say that it's improbable that she was buried at Osiris Magna and that the chances of finding her tomb are limited. It is stated that Cleopatra's palace, along with other buildings and monuments, are quite sturdy. In the harbor of Alexandria, the second largest city in Egypt since 1994, there is a rune carved into the sea floor. Archaeologists have been exploring the rooms, which are one of the richest underwater excavations in the Mediterranean, with some 6,000 artifacts. Recent years, excavators have discovered dozens of sphinxes in the harbor, along with pieces of what is believed to be the Alexandria Lighthouse or Pharos, which was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Along with it, a number of impressive structures have been discovered, including the temple dedicated to Caesar, an unfinished palace for Mark Antony, and a temple Cleopatra. The small islands of Antirotos off the coast of Alexandria, where all these things were discovered, existed until the year 365, when a massive earthquake, believed to have been the biggest in the ancient Mediterranean, sent out a wave of destruction that reached as far as the shores of Spain. The earthquake's epicenter was off the island of Crete. A nearby Alexandria could not have been spared by the gargantuan tsunami that leveled this important city. Cleopatra has been the main reason for the researchers to look into the tunnels, because they might hold the key to the final resting place of the fabled Queen of Egypt. If her tomb is discovered, the architecture and material contents of the tomb alone would keep historians occupied. At the present time, no projects are searching for Cleopatra's tomb underwater, although past projects have looked at Cleopatra's palace. Now the main focus of researchers is to look into the tunnels, because they might hold the key. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications before leaving. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.